I'm Norm, the Amateur Machinist. That's the name of my channel, the Amateur Machinist. Normally I talk about machining work, like working on lathes and milling machines. But today I'm going to talk about something different that has nothing to do with machining work. In my life, in addition to doing amateur machining work, I also am a concealed carry instructor for the state of Nebraska. And in that course I teach various concepts on carrying concealed and laws and just anything that has to do with carrying a concealed weapon. But there's one thing that's been bugging me lately about all these shootings you hear about where police shoot some kid or any person for that matter when they get pulled over, and it turns out to be some kind of an innocent thing that shouldn't have happened, where the officer may be at fault, or even the civilian may be at fault. And I think I figured out a good part of the problem on that situation. In the police academy, police get all kinds of training on how to pull someone over. What to do, what not to do. All kinds of policies and procedures in place. But civilians don't get one lick of training ever. As far as I know, that's never taught in the schools. It's not taught in driver's ed. There probably aren't many parents that have taught their kids that. And I just had a lecture with my grandson tonight, earlier, about this very thing, because he's now just starting to drive. So think about it. If the police have all this training, but the civilians have no training, doesn't that kind of look like I could spell some trouble? It's only half the solution's been implemented. Civilians need a ton of training on how to be pulled over, things to do, things not to do, because many civilians have been shot and killed maybe because they were holding a cell phone, which you don't want to do when you're pulled over. Maybe they made a sudden motion in their glove box to get their license and registration, and they get shot for it because they made a sudden motion. That's one thing the police are very, very paranoid of, is sudden motions. Especially when it's a sudden motion where you're reaching for something. So that is, I think, the problem. Civilians aren't getting the training that they need on how to be pulled over. Only half the solution is being implemented. So I'm going to do a real quickie course here. In my concealed carry course, I do cover this. And but that's just a drop in the bucket compared to what needs to be done countrywide. And so I'm just going to give you a few real quick pointers here, especially for you young people that are just starting to drive and you have no experience of being pulled over. You're the ones in the most danger because you have no idea what to expect. First of all, probably the main thing that officers are very, very paranoid of is sudden motions. When they pull you over, they're looking through the back window. If they see a lot of motion, they start getting nervous. Okay? Because it can mean a lot of different things. Are the people in there shuffling around? Are they uncovering their guns, getting their guns ready? Whatever. Okay? They don't like to see that. So, eliminate the sudden motions. If you get the red lights behind you to pull over, kind of sit there like a statue, put your hands on the steering wheel, fingers spread. Okay? Don't have your fingers together. You could be holding a small gun. When you have your fingers spread, it's making it very clear you're not holding anything. Right there, I could be holding a small gun, right? You don't know that. I have a balled up fist. Now you know I'm not. Okay? So, whenever you show your hands, show them completely, fingers spread. Do not have your fists balled up. Um, in one video that I watched, a dash cam video, a police officer pulled over a young kid. The kid gets out of his vehicle. Well, that's a mistake also. Don't get out of your vehicle unless the officer tells you to. But he did. The kid got out of the vehicle. And the officer said, "Let me see your driver's license and registration." What does the kid do? He dives into the car to get his driver's license and registration. The officer shoots him. Okay, now I think that officer went to prison for that. But two mistakes there that kid made. First of all, getting out of the vehicle, because he wasn't told to get out of the vehicle, and the sudden motion of diving into the car. What's the officer going to think? Of course, he's diving in to get a gun. Never should have happened. Here's what should have happened. Anytime a police officer asks you for your driver's license and registration, say to the officer, "Sir, my driver's license is in my wallet. May I reach to get it? Or would you like to get it out of my back pocket?" Okay? And do whatever the officer says. If the officer says, "Yeah, you can go ahead and reach and get it," then get it. And do it slowly. Don't make any real fast motions. Do it at a normal speed. Just go back like that and get the wallet out. If you make a sudden fast motion like that, you might think, "Oh, you're going for a gun." How many people go like that to get their wallet out? Not many. The normal speed is, you just reach back and get it. A sudden motion tells an officer that there's a possibility this guy's going to pull a fast one on me. Normal speed. Okay, so ask the officer, "May I get it?" If you're sitting in your car and the officer says driver's license and registration, and this happened to me once. My registration was in the cup holder on the door, my driver's side door. I asked the officer, my registration is in a compartment down here. May I reach for it? And he said yes. So I reached for it and gave it to him. Don't reach down in a compartment like that without the officer's permission. He thinks you're going for a gun. And you may get shot. So don't do that. I got a few little pointers written down here so I don't forget them. Courteous. Always be courteous and no back talk. Many of you have been trained to hate the police. Don't hate the police. They're great people. Yeah, there's a few bad seeds, just like there's a few bad seeds in any organization. Don't judge the whole organization by a few bad seeds. By and large, the police force, they do a very courageous job in protecting us. Applaud them. So when you get pulled over, think in those terms. This officer is just making sure that I'm okay. Always be courteous. No back talk. What's the back talk going to do for you? Negativity like that is going to cause you to have anger subjected on you from the police officer. Now, is that going to do you any good? That'll do you no good. Always be courteous, no back talk. Let's see here. Yeah, and in addition to sudden motions is reaching. Anytime you have to reach for anything, ask for the officer's permission. Sir, my registration's in the back seat. Can I reach in the back seat? Sir, my registration is, or ma'am, I don't want to be sexist here. Sir or ma'am, my registration is in the glove box. May I get it? May I reach for it? Or you are welcome to reach for it if you want to. And no reaching unless the officer gives you permission. And reach at a normal speed. Now when you're pulled over, again, hands on the steering wheel, fingers spread. If you are told to get out of the car, the best thing you can do is get out of the car, hands up in the air, fingers spread. This happened to me just recently. recently, as a concealed carrier, I try to help police officers. Whenever I see a police officer alongside the road has pulled somebody over, I stop and I do a standby. I'll stand 50 yards away to make sure that that officer doesn't get in any serious trouble. And if it's very serious trouble that he gets into, I will run in and help the officer with my weapon if need be, or in any other way. Well, I did that one night. Usually the police officers never even knew I was there. But one night I did it in an open parking lot. I couldn't help it from being seen by them. As soon as they got done with their pullover and the person drove away, immediately they're coming over to me to see, okay, what's this guy doing standing around here watching us? And so as soon as they did that, my hands up in the air, fingers spread. And I immediately told them, in Nebraska, you're required by law to immediately enforce an officer when they approach you and talk to you in an official setting. You have to inform them that you're carrying concealed and you have a concealed carry permit. You're required by law to do that in Nebraska. But anyway, I did that with my hands up, fingers spread. No back talk. I explained why I was there, and in a couple seconds, they were shaking my hand. So always think in terms of de-escalation. What you do, anything you do, ask yourself, is this something that's positive and will keep things de-escalated? Or is this some kind of crap I'm going to come up with that will escalate and make the situation worse? Back talk and smart aleckness and all that other kind of stuff, that you're asking for nothing but trouble. Okay, I'm going to give one little piece of information for police officers. Police officers, when you pull somebody over, ask them, where's your, one thing you always want to do, you always ask for the license, driver's license, and the registration. Ask them where it is. Ask the person where it is. So that you know right then and there where it is, so that if that person makes the mistake of making a sudden motion in that direction to get it, you'll have a heads up. Oh, okay, he just told me it's in the glove box, and he's reaching for the glove box. But he shouldn't be doing that without your permission. A simple thing. Just ask them where the driver's license and registration is, and then give them permission to get it, or you get it yourself. Okay, I'm at almost 13 minutes here, and I wanted to make this a 5-minute video. Okay, so I'm going to cut it here, and I just wanted to give the general public out here a little bit of training on how to be pulled over. Be aware that you've had no training, and do some common sense thinking on things you should do when you're pulled over. I don't want to hear anybody else getting shot because of some stupid mistake like what happened with that gas station when that kid was pulled over and he dives into his car to get his driver. He was doing exactly what the police officer said. He said, the officer said, "Let me see your driver's license and registration." The kid dove into the car to get it. Police officer shoots him. Police officer, so that kid, I don't think that kid died, but he ended up in the hospital, maybe permanent injuries, and the police officer is in prison. All because some basic, simple things weren't done. If that police officer had asked, "Where's your driver's license and registration?" the kid would have said, "It's in the car." So when the kid goes in the car, the officer will know, oh, he's getting his driver's license. Okay? Or get it yourself. You know, as a driver, always offer to the officer, would you like to get it yourself? I can step away from the vehicle and you can get it yourself if you want to. Okay, I'm at 14 minutes now. This is going to take hours for me to upload. So this is Norm, the Amateur Machinist. So long, and I will have other machining videos coming up in the near future also. Bye-bye.